Thank you so much, gentlemen. Could we have you all together for a group picture? And apologies, we really have to stick to the schedule as we are running a little behind schedule. So apologies for cutting short the discussion. Thank you so much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now looking at the last panel discussion for this evening before we move to the very special felicitation ceremony. And this is also on a very crucial aspect as far as the PSU sector is concerned, which is infrastructure and PSUs paving the road to a Viksit Bharat quite literally. So essentially what we'll see our panelists explore over the next 20 minutes is how the PSUs play a crucial role in developing resilient infrastructure to support a long-term nation-building goals. And this is something that we discussed earlier in the day as well. What is the strategy of PSUs, say, in the next 24 to 25 years as we reach 100 years of independence by 2047? So we'll discuss innovation in infrastructure, community benefits, adaptability to climate change, resource optimization, and a lot more. So without wasting any more time, let me introduce our speakers. We'll get this sorted. With a huge round of applause, let's welcome our panelists. Mr. Deepak Tripathi, Director Technical at REITs, joining us as the first panelist for this panel. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last panel, and then we move to the felicitation ceremony. Let me also welcome Mr. Vijay Devnath, GGM Infra, ITSG and CDG at CRIS. Good to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much for taking our time. Mr. Shantanu Acharya, General Manager, National Internet Exchange of India. Sir, good to have you with us. Mr. R.K. Mishra, Managing Director at NICSI. Sir, good to have you with us. And the moderator of this session, Tarun Baijnath, Partner, Grant Thornton Bharat, also completing this panel, requesting our moderator to please stick to the time limits and that we can move on to the next section. Over to you, please.
Thank you. Right, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've had quite a bit of interesting topics through the evening, and now that we've also landed to our last panel, which is, and I personally believe that booming infrastructure, coupled with certain factors like inclusivity, etc., will lead to or carve that path for us to shaping a more vibrant Bharat and the new India which we envision by 2047 under Viksit Bharat. So, just to ensure that we are on time, we had a half an hour slot, but we've been restricted to 20 minutes, but we'll make most of it. And, I would firstly like to welcome all our esteemed panelists who sort of, drive a lot of the agenda on infrastructure. And we've also going to be focusing a little more in terms of the roadmap or a road path that we have in order to ensure that there is more collaboration and how PSEs are engaging, alongside other entities and other departments to, ensure that we are able to scale and sustain over a period in time. Thank you for having me here today. So I'll move on, sir, to you, Mr. Tripathi. Driving the agenda at RITES, and we are all aware that it's RITES not just a focus today on railways. It is also kind of collaborated with other public sector enterprises, departments, to ensure that we are working across areas and sectors which are important of roads, whether they are bridges and airports. How do you feel and what do you see as a roadmap for public sector enterprises to grow that strategy in order to ensure that, we're able to optimally utilize the efficiencies of public sector enterprises in the country?
So, let me start with thanking ET Now, ET Edge for having me here. And as far as RITES is concerned, as you rightly mentioned, we started 50 years back. This year we have celebrated our 50th anniversary as a railway infrastructure consultancy company. And today, on date, now we have reached the status of a Navratna company, a listed company. We got listed in 2018, and we are now the top 500 listed company, even though being in a consultancy business. So as far as our the business verticals are concerned, now we expanded from railways to the metros, the highways, the ports, airports, ropeways, urban infrastructure. So we are everywhere as far as the sectoral presence is concerned in the infrastructure and transport segment. And we also have in our, we provide the complete service, we have the complete service spectrum, whether it is design to concept to commissioning to asset management, life cycle management, in new segments like sustainability, technology area. So, and we ourselves feel that we take pride in, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, we have been talking. So, on the infrastructure side of Viksit Bharat, we are there in every field and supporting the entire industry around, including all public sectors. As you have mentioned, we have a very, the scheme we call the PM Gati Shakti scheme. So it has such a wonderful thing which has come out to help us achieve our aim of being a developed country by 2047. And this scheme has all the major infrastructure companies which are public sector companies, including private sector companies, which are in railways, the roadways, the ports and waterways, shipping, the mass transit. So they almost all sectors connecting the energy sector, the industrial sector, the social sector. So a scheme which actually connects all the sectors, infrastructure sectors and industrial sectors together. And it provides a very a platform where a synchronized development is taking place, and where we have more than now around 10,000 projects in the national infrastructure pipeline with almost 160 lakh crore rupees worth. And the beauty of this, that whether it is infrastructure sector or the energy sector or the manufacturing sector, connected all public sectors, the 16 ministries which are the nodal ministries for who monitor these public sector companies. So they are all connected, and we are there everywhere, and we see that with this scheme, whether it is the Coal India Limited expanding their network, or the Steel Authority of India is planning to double their capacity, and for that the logistics infrastructure which has to be developed, the energy sector in terms of the power requirement, the renewables. So it's a very, very wonderful thing to have, where all entire public sector domain is connected for the to achieve the Viksit Bharat goal.
Right. Thank you, sir. I think there is, also coupled with technical assistance and, all that you are doing today, which will lead that path. And I think, collaboration is key in order to ensure that, whether it's the private sector, whether it's public sector enterprises, the larger government, also supporting that cause to ensure that we are able to shape the ecosystems. Thank you, sir. I'll come to you, sir, next. Mr. Devnath, Chris is, of course, managing large, complex IT systems for railways. How do you envision, smart infrastructure, to help you navigate complexities in terms of, managing user load, bringing in efficiencies in your entire process? If you could help us a little there, it'd be great to understand the usage of technology and IoT and, many more.
Yeah, good evening everyone, and sorry we are late and we are between you and the other programs. to explain about railways, it's not necessary because all of you are users of railways, so you know what is going on in railways in terms of passenger traffic, freight traffic, etc. CRIS as an organization is unlike other PSUs. It's a own body of railway board, and it's called a IT arm. So we are supposed to do only railway work, the software, the hardware, the communication, etc. Now, there are a lot of projects which need to be done almost yesterday. The need for data, the complexity, the applications, the new features, the cloud enablement, etc., are going up by the day. But commensurate resources are not available because in terms of technologies available in India or their providers available in India is a problem. So instead of explaining what all we are planning to do, I will say what are the problems or challenges we are facing here. Problems are in all the three: people, process, technology, all. As you know, most of the base technologies of operating systems, databases and everything, they are all developed in the West, and then we have to get them supported here. And the processes of getting them to make in India, etc., takes a lot of time. And then there is a competitiveness among all the vendors, which extend the processes even more. Then next comes to the process of getting the things implemented here. There also, because of the vast size of railways and its offices, etc., and the manpower, the huge manpower, which is not, I will say, tech savvy. They are mostly in the, they are more good at railway work than IT work. But they are the key people who have to get the data right into the systems and all that. And as you know, IT systems are always GIGO. So whatever garbage goes in, garbage goes out. So if we are to implement a high class AI project or an IoT project, getting the people to enter the right data and getting it to the data quality at the central level is itself a big project in itself. So another problem which is related to people and processes. We will expect that some processes are relaxed so that we can get the technology faster in the public sector. Ultimately, I will say that public sector, the name public is for serving the people. So there should not be too much of a bureaucratic, give and take, or sharing of data, sharing of resources, like even the compute resources, the storage resources, the data resources, etc. They should be flowing freely between public sector so that we collectively are able to serve the people. Ultimately, our purpose is to serve the people. So I hope that in going forward, the public sectors together will share the resources among themselves so that we are faster in serving the people.
Absolutely, and a seamless integration all across. Mr. Tripathi, coming to you, driving, digital infrastructure, I wanted to understand, public sector enterprises, how do, in your view, what would be that critical element, to ensure that whatever we are building today is not just, to meet the needs of today, but also to anticipate, the way we are growing, and to also look at, the economy, the way it is going to shape up. How do you see that we are able to build those pieces together so we are able to create, sustainable ecosystem and that infrastructure in the future?
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for your question. And what I feel that public sectors have been established, for the infrastructure development economic growth, job creation. And if you see in 23-24, these 56 listed public companies have made a surplus of around 5 lakhs crore. So it gives a lot of responsibility on the public sector undertakings. As far as NIXI is concerned, NIXI we call short in NIXI, it's actually National Internet Exchange of India. So what NIXI does, NIXI is a company under Ministry of Electronics and IT. And we have internet exchanges, we have the sovereign function of maintaining the entire .in domains of India. And we also maintain the entire PIR of India, Public Internet Registries and IP addresses of India. So now I'll tell you how we understand the future need, because when NIXI was not born, so then what was happening, whenever you were searching any data, the entire thing was going to US or UK and then coming back here. And lot of time was going on there and lot of costs were also involved. So when NIXI born, so at that point of time, the data were, whenever any Indian searching was anything, it was remain in India only. And at that point of time, we had around 8 internet exchanges. But we understood that 8 internet exchanges won't serve the purpose because the number of data are increasing. So we extended it to 77 internet exchanges. So now what had happened in, we had made one impact study on that, and we saw that in tier 2, tier 3 cities, lot of business has come up, like call centers are involved, and many education institutions, students were greatly, helped on that. So that's how we feel that the load balancing should be done and infrastructure should be done. And if you see the future load, yes, we have also done a study on that, and we have seen that around maybe 250, 300 internet exchanges are required. So strategic plannings are also going on there. And I feel that the purpose with which the public sectors have been established, so they are serving on that purpose, and NIXI is also on the right track. Thank you.
Thank you. Coming to you, sir, I think we are also very short on time, but you also play a very eminent role. NIXI is looking at creating cost-effective solutions, but also state-of-art technology. Could you help us with some of the innovative technologies NIC or other enabling PSCs are playing towards in order to look at upgradation or a more robust digital ecosystem or an infrastructure creation that's going to happen for us in the future?
Thank you. घड़ी आपने सामने लगा रखी है. So we need to honor that. Just to tell about NIXI's National Informatics Center Services Incorporated. So, and we are Section 8 company, which is not for profit, under Ministry of Electronics and IT. It was established in 1995, and the mandate is to support governments and government infrastructure for socio-economic development. So now, as the name suggests, so when we are talking about our domain of working and the areas of working are central ministries, state governments, governance which is delivered from state to district, and PSUs. So these are our mandate areas. Today we are talking about infrastructure. Our co-panelists talked about infrastructure and the increasing pressure, or I will use the word ever increasing pressure on infrastructure in terms of demand. Importance of infrastructure, whether it is a civil infrastructure or any other type of infrastructure, this is critical for development of any country, and thus for us too. When we are talking about infrastructure in 2024, you are talking about digital infrastructure, you are talking about strategic importance of digital infrastructure, digital highways. So how I see is basically that today it has become very important and critical to develop our digital infrastructure, which we started with advent of Digital India program. We have grown significantly. So now there is a time to protect our infrastructures. Our fellow panelist from Chris, he talked about increasing demand, increasing need, and how to cater it. So NIXI's role is there, where I can say that we are supporting PSUs, we can support PSUs, all in infrastructure, cyber security. We talked about artificial intelligence. So with the AI, we are setting up, we are in the process of setting up AI's platform for AI Medha. We are in the process of setting up cyber security platforms because it is becoming increasingly demanding and increasingly difficult to get into that area of cyber security, to get those professionals on board, to prepare our country for those professionals. So the idea is to serve our governments, to serve our PSUs, support our PSUs by providing services in these areas.
Perfect. Thank you. I think we are on time. There was much more planned to, and a lot of other sub-themes that we were to cover. But, thank you for, your valuable, inputs. We also believe, and today I kind of did notice that we are speaking of Viksit Bharat. We're talking about, cyber. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about digital natives. I think what we really missed was, having a single lady on a panel. Which is also inclusivity, and we have to look at 400 million women as a part of their workforce, a job provider, a job seeker, by 2047 to get to that Viksit Bharat. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.